Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another videos. Another paid request. This time for my friend Mike, OSP Communications. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is The Guardian from 1990, which is a William Friedkin film. That's probably the weirdest Friedkin film. I know sadly he passed away this year. And when I think of William Friedkin, like my favorite is The Hunted with Tom Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro. I know that's not a common thing for that to be their favorite Friedkin film, but it's mine. Because I don't mind the French Connection. I was never a fan of The Exorcist. I like the third one. That's the only one I liked, really. And to live and die in L.A., I don't mind. I liked Jade. So there are Friedkin films I do like, and this one I liked as well. I will admit I do like the movie. Like I say, it's a very weird one for him. I think a lot of people, if they saw this, they would not guess it was William Friedkin who directed it. I guess you would say, I mean, he said this in an interview, he wanted to do a Grimm's fairy tale. Those very dark fairy tale stories that when you read them, they're very violent. What was it? Cinderella, if you read the actual story, when the stepsisters are trying to get the shoe on, some of them are actually cutting off their toes in order to try to fit into the shoe even more. Like I said, there's some pretty violent stuff in those. And from what I understand, this is based on a book, but if you look at the original idea, it was just going to be a regular nanny who's psycho and is kidnapping babies. And maybe not the kidnapping part, but it reminded me of what The Hand That Rots the Cradle would come out a few years after this with Rebecca De Mornay. And she wasn't kidnapping babies, but a nanny, and there's try to be a bit more psychological. And that was a fairly successful film, so part of me wonders if this writer, he saw The Hand That Rots the Cradle, saw success, and went, God damn it, could have been that movie. But William Friedkin, he was just that in the studio. I think the studio wanted a bit more supernatural because, come on, this is William Friedkin, and he did The Exorcist, so can we have something like that? And ultimately led William Friedkin to this idea about the druids and witches and this tree witch named Camila, which I know is a pretty big pill for people to swallow. I can understand that. But I thought that while this does have its flaws, I wouldn't say I love the film, but I liked it. That okay, some positives. Jenny Seagrove as Camila. I thought she did a good job showcasing the charm that would allow people to go, okay, this person's right to be the nanny, and then invite her into our house. And then she's able to turn that bit of sinister. I was going to say because she's British. No, I'm just kidding. Because of just be able to turn that sinister part of her on when she needed to. Because after this opening scene where you see her in a previous family's place, where you don't see her face, but you tell something is up, and William Friedkin is trying to do some decent bits of direction, like the POV of the basket when she's dropping the baby bottle in it, and the lighting to try to hide her face so you don't get a good look at her at first, and then she takes his baby. Granted, this person will take a baby to this tree out into the middle of the forest. This tree that does look like from a Grimm's fairy tale. Sacrifices the baby to the tree where the baby's crying, then it disappears, and you see a face carved into the kind of the bark of the tree, which I guess rejuvenates the tree, but also maybe helps rejuvenate her a bit as well. Granted, I don't know why at that point she's looking like Katana from Mortal Kombat. Because, like, she gets into there, and then she's on her knees, and she's got this thing, this veil over her face. Like, the way she dressed, it does look like Katana, like one of those Mortal Kombat female ninjas finisher. I don't know. She never looks like that ever, ever, ever again. Ever. So, I don't know where that came from. She didn't have that outfit before. Why is she covering her face here? I just for William Friedkin to know, I don't want to show her face just yet. So I have her just put this shit on her face that she never used before or since. I did. Katana. Or what was the Jade and all that fucking... Where's Liu Kang? And then it's like a hard cut. Almost like very abrupt to 3 months later. I'm like, okay. Almost to the point I got whiplash. And then you have this new couple who lived in Chicago. They moved to L.A. This guy gets an advertising job. I didn't mind the lead guy. I thought he was decent, but not great. I would say that's one issue I have, is that the couple, they're okay. They're not great, fantastic. And when you think of other William Friedkin movies and the actors he got, even when they were infamous at first, but you still got Ellen. No matter how I feel about the actresses, the acting's not the problem. It's just the story is not interesting to me. Except Actresses 3, that story interested me, but that's a whole other conversation. But the acting was not the problem. Match von Sydow and Ellen Burstyn, like, they gave pretty good performances. Same with To Live and Die in L.A., William Peterson's performance, and Willem Dafoe as the villain. French Connection with Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider, which this was before they were stars. Like, Roy Scheider, I don't think he had done Jaws yet by the time of the French Connection. I don't think he did, so very young in their career. So he's able to, like, choose the right actors. Here, the actors, like I said, they're okay. They're not great or grand, but more than serviceable. But sometimes the conversation, you see a little bit of hiccups here and there in their acting. They're not, it's not A-grade acting, like usual with Friedkin movies. Like even Jade, with David Caruso and Michael Biehn and some of the other people in there, it's not grade A acting. Like Jenny Seagrove did a really good job. The two leads, they were fine. Obviously, they're just fine. At least for me. And the musical score, I thought at times was rather inappropriate. Because sometimes it's almost this little guitar thing going on. I don't really fit with the story and the proceedings. Like this little guitar, like ding ding, ding, like. Is that really the right score to use for this? Like, when you want a score that's a bit more creepy or a bit more... And there's some bits that are trying to be fair, but sometimes there's a little guitar twinkle twinkle that's like... Really? Like, these little light bits. So they get there, and pretty quickly we move into almost... Seemed like almost a year worth where they moved in, she's pregnant, she's getting bigger, she has the baby, and then they need a nanny. So they're looking at some of them, they don't hire one, but while the girl's biting, she falls to her death. Which made me go, wow, so they can just do that? Why didn't Jenny Seagrove use his power? Now that I think about it, the girl who's going to be the nanny is just bicycling, and then somehow her bicycle maneuvers to here and falls to her death. There's a lot of moments that if you could just do that by what, telekinesis? Osmosis? It felt like in this movie there's a lot of moments that should have showcased again. Especially when she's trying to get this baby. Because that seemed like something you could do with your mind. Which made me go, well, why didn't she do it here? Why didn't she do it there? If it was... That scene should have been... I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. If Jenny Seagrove was actually there with a car and maneuvered, or she somehow got in the way and she physically was there for this girl to maneuver, get out of the way, and die, it would make more sense in the proceedings. Just the thing is, that girl dies, so then the couple goes with their second choice, which is Jenny Seagrove's character as Camila. And then it'll go into either random bits of Jenny Seagrove taking care of the baby, and there's these three muggers that chase her, and she gets them to this tree as to showcase how dangerous the tree is. So I actually like that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in the movie because of the violence of it. Or it's the lead guy kind of realizing something's going on, gets some vital information, and then talks with this one lady who was affected by this woman much early in the film, as well as a buddy of his witnessing something and sadly dying for it, or at this point thinking he disappeared. Premises information comes to fruition for him and realizes this bitch is crazy and get this bitch out of my house before she does an Amber Turd on my bed. Get her the fuck out. I do like that it's a guy that's a lead, because in this story it would have been very, very typical if it was about the mom and the mom was the lead and it's the mom versus the nanny. That would be where it would usually go towards. So I found refreshing that it was the dad being the lead and being the guy to figure this out. So that's a nice bit of difference. I appreciate that. I said the lead guy, I'm giving him a bit of a hard time, but he's not bad. Overall, I didn't mind him. It's just, I don't think he was the best actor. Especially when there's another actor in here that I wish was the lead, is Miguel Ferrer. May you rest in peace. Miguel Ferrer from RoboCop, when he's building, don't be one badass motherfucker. He was in Deep Star 6 as a character I actually felt sorry for, Snyder. For me, the best character in that movie. Deep Star 6 from 1989. One of those underwater horror movies. And always thought he was a good actor. Passed away way too soon. I'm saying, I wish he was the lead in the movie. Because even like they have a dinner scene, and that's the guy I'm looking more towards. He just seemed like a better actor, a stronger actor. I'm sitting there going, why did William Friedkin not cast him in the lead role? I don't know why. Like, why didn't he do that? But it is what it is. I would prefer Miguel Ferrer if he was in the lead role. I think that would have been a better benefit to the movie. And then not that the lead guy's awful, but Miguel Ferrer, I think he's a better actor. And it would have been cool to see him as a lead. He didn't get to do that too much. There was The Night Flyer, which I was disappointed in, and then there's The Harvest, about organ harvesting, which it didn't really have the budget. It's fairly cheap direct-to-video movie. But anyway, yeah, I just had to mention Miguel Ferrer because, again, I thought he was a good actor and passed away way too soon. And also, I don't really get why the lead guy is having visions. Does it seem like nobody else, like the mom doesn't have visions? It seemed like nobody in the previous family had visions. So why is it that only he and he himself is having visions? Even later on when the mom of a baby that was taken before, when she's able to contact this guy, please can I talk to you? I had a nanny before. What does she look like? Is she the person that's with you now? You're trying to warn him. But she never mentions that she had visions or stuff. Just for some reason, this lead guy is having visions when others didn't. And there's not really any explanation for it. That's the thing, it seemed like there's certain bits of the script that just, there's holes in it that are not really plugged in at all. But it's a short enough film that goes at a quick pace. At least the tree witch druid thing idea may be a silly idea for people. At least it felt a bit more unique. At least it felt a bit more different. There's some nice violent images. I mentioned the bit with Jenny Seagrove where she's taking care of the baby. These three muggers out of the blue find her. They chase her. She gets them to the tree. And the tree goes postal. I mean, they did what they could with the tree. You know, it couldn't move that much. But a tree branch goes and it hits a guy on the head, and the guy's head fucking explodes. There's a bit where it drags a guy, and it's kind of a creepy image. Some people may find laughable, but I thought it was kind of creepy where you did this quick moment where it's inside the tree's mouth, and it goes, and it cuts the guy's arm off. The idea of just being eaten like that, just something about that, just that's done practical. Just like it's a creepy image for me. Maybe not for you, but it was for me. And then this other guy, he's dragged to the point so hard that his leg rips off. And then this big tree thing comes from under the ground and impales right through him. The nice effect, like punches through his torso, leg area. Very bloody, very gruesome. And that is a fun scene, I'll say. That's a highlight of the movie. I guess the rest of the movie is, again, our lead guy having these visions. Again, I don't know why nobody else before or since had visions, but whatever. Get in contact. This lady gets in contact with him. Meanwhile, a buddy of theirs, who's a neighbor, he likes Camila, wanted to invite her on a date. Oh, I must have missed her. Let me go find her. Sees her, follows her into the woods. Sees her go by a tree, get fully naked, lie down. And literally the tree was caressing her. I'm like, is the tree fucking her? But the tree's branches are kind of caressing her and fondling her. And hey, I mean, I guess I don't blame the tree because Camilla's hot. So, guess I don't blame the tree. We both got wood. We both want to use it. Be my guest. I guess it doesn't go as far as the tree in Evil Dead. That literally goes to the snatch. But maybe it wanted to. But I guess it's a way of Jenny Seagrove's Camilla character rejuvenating. Just like she turns into like more bark and such. Spoilers here on out, I know. I that's why how I like talking about movies. The guy sees Camilla, Camilla sees him, I should say, follows him. And then there's a bunch of dogs, bunch of wolves, I should say, that chase after him, get into his house, ultimately kill him. It was a fairly overlong scene. I know it's trying to be suspenseful, but it's one of those where I know this guy's going to die, and you're kind of just waiting for it to get done and over with. And he was trying to be suspenseful. I don't think it was entirely successful at being suspenseful. But, I mean, that's just me. And then when he gets attacked, there's a little bit of gore there. And actually, I think it's after that where the lady got in touch with the lead character and phoned him. And then he's able to meet with her and what's going on. And because his visions, he sees a book that lady's boy has. It's the book from his dreams. And he knows something's going on. Confronts Camilla. And I would say from here on out, I did thoroughly enjoy. When it kicked in the gear, I thought it let it rip. And didn't stop till the end. I appreciate that. He knows what's going on, confronts her, tells her get the fuck out of our house. No bullshit, get the fuck out. I appreciate that. Then the baby's in trouble, get the baby to the hospital. Camila's there. She's trying to take the baby, but the dad steps in. You ain't take my baby. Fucking smacks Camila in the face. I'm like, yeah! See, okay, you got, okay, William Friedkin, there you go. It's Allie. Smack the bitch. Fuck that bitch. And yes, the dad is the good guy. Like, he's the hero. Because then usually it goes towards the mom, the nurturer. And that can work fairly well, of course, but it's nice to see a change of pace at the dad. Kicked it a bit of ass, too. They escape. They're chased by wolves at one point. The dad has the baby protecting it. The mom gets the truck. Hits Camila full force. They talk to a cop. The cop is actually Xander Berkeley, who is the husband of Virginia Madsen, or boyfriend husband in Virginia Madsen and Candyman. He's done a lot of other stuff too, Xander Berkeley. He plays a cop saying, we didn't find a body. They come home. The dad has the right idea, the lead guy. He gets a chainsaw, goes to that tree, and cuts that motherfucker down. While Camila goes towards the mom and the baby. Now, this is what I'm talking about, where if Camila could make the girl, the first nanny, water her bike off the road and fall down, how come Camila was not able to do this with anything else? Like, when in the hospital to get the baby. Why didn't she just, with one look, the mom is pushed back and she takes the baby? Or the dad, when the dad is staying in front of her, she doesn't move and he falls back or he slips or something. Oh, when... even at the end of the film. Maybe at the end you just say, well, she got hit by a vehicle and now you've seen there's more bark on her, like part tree. So maybe she's weakened, but she wasn't weakened before, so she never uses that type of power again. Not even a little bit, not even trying. Maybe she tries and fails, tries a second time, fails, so she's got to do it with her hands and feet. But she never has that power again. And yeah, it's just like, well, in that scene, yeah, just fuck it. Just have, somehow she mentally manipulates the bike of this girl off the road. Also, you think this would be the right time to use the wolves. Because the woman is now with the baby, and it looked like in a shot earlier, much earlier in the film, when she looks like a time for more combat. You see image that the image is of, her mirror image in the water is a wolf. So, okay, she turns to a wolf. But no, there were multiple other wolves. So why isn't she using them at the end against the lady to get her and the baby? Or even chasing the guy in the woods. Or even with the guy with the chainsaw. This tree was able to take on 3 muggers with one hit from a branch, a guy's head exploded, but the tree hits our lead character in the face. He doesn't even get he got maybe a scratch. So why is it that you hit the mugger before and his head exploded, but you hit the lead guy and he got a scratch? Maybe if he put the chainsaw up and blocked the blow a bit, at least you could explain it a bit. So that's what I mean. There's a lot of stuff because of the strip changes there's a lot of stuff that if you think about it enough, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I mean, you just say that for a ton of movies I love. I get that, but it's like, I'm just pointing it out. But it was still cool. Like, he's chainsawing the tree, and it's bloodiest. I mean, why the trees... He grabs the guy a bit, but again, earlier, it was able to pull so hard, it pulled the guy's leg off. Here, it seems like he's pulling just as much, but nope. Because it's the lead guy, so He's impervious. The guy isn't really grabbing on much to anything, but it's not pulling him. It's just the guy's kind of reaching for the chainsaw when it grabs his leg. I don't think he was grabbing on anything, and if he was, you're just not supposed to think about it. That's a common trope of a lot of movies. It will do something to Joe number one and Steve number two and Anthony number three, but to our lead guy, he'll be impervious to it. There's tons of movies I love that have done that too. So it is again something that came to mind. But as he's chopping the tree up, it's hurting Camila more and more. Chops the tree down, comes down. There's an explosion. Camila is hurt. The mom pushes Camila out. Explosion. And I will say at least it ends. No sequel bait ending. No downbeat ending. The monster's dead. The movie's over. It's a pretty short film. There's some pretty decent makeup effects in my opinion. It was nice to see the dad be the hero. Camila, nice change of pace to have a female, superhuman, supernatural villain. I meant to say, because at this time it wasn't a common thing. In fact, the first time I heard of this was the same as Mike, OCP, because he did a review of this. It's the same way. We both heard of this movie at the same time. I think I had seen the cover of this VHS tape, but I didn't know what it was. But then the Boogeyman DVD, which I don't have, I kind of wish I had, just as a novelty. But there's a DVD called Boogeyman. And on the cover had Jason, Michael Myers, Chucky, all this other stuff, and it was a clip show. It was a glorified clip show. But what was cool was, number one, it had trailers for the films as a bonus feature. And two, it had a commentary by Robert Englund. So Robert Englund is commenting on Chucky, he's commenting on Camila, which this was... So it was kind of interesting to have Robert Englund do a commentary, taught about Candyman and stuff of that nature. So that was neat. So I would like to have it just for that. And it's from the same DVD that then tried to do one on fights. Ultimate Fights, I forget what it's called. And I forget who did the commentary on that. I think the guy who had the knife fight with Van Damme in Time Cop. Before he kicked him, and then the other guy tried to fry him, and he did the splits. The guy fried himself. Then the guy before with the knife, I think that guy did commentary on that. But anyway, because that knife fight is in the movie for fights. Anyway, Boogeyman, I'm sure I could probably find the DVD pretty cheap. Because, like I said, it's just a clip show. This is back to the before YouTube. Before the days of YouTube. Where you would see this stuff and, hey, check it out, and maybe there's some you haven't heard of before. And that's where I like, what is this Camila? And that's where I first saw footage of The Guardian. I do like the trailer as well. The trailer has this, hush little baby, don't you cry. And the music in the trailer, I thought, was actually better than the music in the movie. Some of that music might be at the very end credits. I'm not positive. But I said, the trailer, like the nursery rhyme stuff in the trailer was a lot more creepier than the music in the movie. And that's why I think, music-wise, I wish William Friedkin had gone a bit more of that, taking, hush little baby, don't you... Like kind of nursery thing, but making it a creepy motif. I think that could have been better usage of a musical score for this kind of movie. Maybe certain other things will be a little bit explained, better explained. Miguel Ferrer, as much as the lead guy was fine enough. I wish Miguel Ferrer was the lead. I wish when the guy is fighting the tree at the end, Maybe they didn't have the budget. Maybe they ran out of time. But I wish there was a bit more of the guy dodging the branches. A bit more physical with that. Like dodging it, maneuvering out of the way. Like a little bit more of that. But yeah, maybe because they couldn't do much with this tree. So they can only move as much as they could. So it seemed like that there was some production problems with that. But overall, I liked the film for what it was. I did like it. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.